Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Oh, so how are you? Everything's gone a little bit pear-shaped.
It has. Well, it has and it hasn't, because in a way I feel suddenly blessed with the type of online things that are happening and the opportunities that have opened up.
There are
Um,
a lot
yes,
of
I'd
things.
lost my launch, and that
Mm,
was disappointing. Even knowing, on the weekend that I thought it was going to go south, I thought, gee, I'm accepting it
mm.
really well. But as soon as I got the email, it was like, no, it really is happening or not happening.
Oh, yeah,
So,
yeah.
but yes, the online community, they have just been fabulous, haven't they? The way they're
It's
reaching
been a
out.
lot. There's a lot to keep up with. I'm because I'm so new anyway, and I haven't actually done a lot of this, people asking questions for blogs and things like that, to all of a sudden have so many. And and being, it's a bit early for me to be so sort of full on with trying to be like, oh, and I've got something, because I'm not till the end of April in terms of the dates. And I don't know. I think I've done this as a wonderful distraction.
Well, it has been a good
Yeah.
distraction from everything. I've been so busy that it hasn't given me a lot of time to worry about some of the bigger picture stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just feel so fortunate, because I could never have
Yeah.
had the reach, just me, if this hadn't have happened, not online. So
That's
yeah.
true. That is true. And I think I'd thought that might be possibly what was happening. But again, being quite new, I wasn't quite sure if I just was imagining it, to be honest.
No,
But
it's
yeah,
huge. It really
everyone
is
being
huge.
really generous.
What date is
Yeah.
your book being launched?
28th of April is the official in-shop date, but we'd sort of planned the 7th of May, but it wasn't really even booked in yet properly, because it's just that bit in the future. So we've just put it all on a hold for now. But yeah, I had Sydney Writers Festival cancel, which I
Oh,
thought I was ready for. We knew it would be. I think even when we announced that it was on, we thought we knew it would be. But when you get the email, it's different. There's a moment where you go, oh yeah,
yeah.
oh,
Oh, but that's huge.
it
First
felt,
first time author to get Sydney Writers Festival. That's just brilliant.
yeah,
So that,
yeah,
big
but then it's
disappointment.
gone.
It's gone, but it'll come again. It'll come again.
Yeah,
They'll all come back. And
yeah.
yeah,
Now
but
you're reassuring me. This is funny. You have a lot of books. That sounds really silly. I was trying to get a handle on things, and there's just basically this little quiet mention on your website to 30 books in the past. So, I've done those, and such huge things. So, any advice you do feel like throwing my way is great.
wow, those 30 plus books, they were quite some time ago now, because I sort of made that shift to writing for adults, or more writing novels than
Yeah.
anything. And all I can say is persistence eventually does pay off. It's what they always talk about. But
Yeah.
yes, I mean, look at you, you're a lot younger than me, and it's taken me this long to get this novel to
Yeah.
come out. But yeah, I'm thrilled to bits
Oh.
and so excited about it. So
So you tell me, and do you have a copy with you? I'm not sure if you've
just
got.
happened to have one I prepared earlier.
Oh wow! I mean, I'd say, oh yay, but it looks like it's a heart wrencher, and it's set in the war.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's I had to think of 5 words for Narelle Harris's quintet of questions.
Yeah.
And so when I was thinking them, I thought, oh dear, heartbreaking, tragic, compelling. Compelling's great, but I thought, oh, but yes, it,
Yeah.
it does have some heartbreak in there. So
Yeah. And do you think that the time that it's set in with the war and the conflicts that it's looking at and the changes that went on at that time, do you think there are any parallels to how we're going at the moment?
well, interestingly, I think I would have put a much bigger focus on the Spanish flu when I wrote it, had I realised how
Oh.
what this was coming about. But I think the
Mm.
parallels are there, as the times are frightening and they're
Yeah.
difficult to go through, and my character does go through a lot. And I think probably one of the hardest things for them was that even when the war was over, it wasn't over, particularly for women who had husbands that were, I don't think very many of them came back and resumed normal lives without any problems. I think they just didn't say a lot about it at the time.
Yeah, definitely. And my grandma's, she's nearly 94. I feel like I mentioned her a lot, sorry. But she was saying that she's never seen anything like this. And so she's lived through those sorts of times, and she feels this is different in some ways, which was a bit of a shock to me because I'm thinking how much she's been through. And yet she's not seen the whole world locked down in this way.
Even in a world war, I think it was, the fighting was in specific places, and even though it affected so many people, it didn't affect them in quite the same way on the home front unless they actually were invaded or they were under threat like England, etc. But here in Australia...
Yeah, she's in England. Sorry, I should have mentioned.
Yeah. Well,
but
she would have felt that pressure if she was in England, depending on where she was. But time does distance us from how severe those impacts are. But yes, this is phenomenal. It's certainly something that I've never experienced in my lifetime. But I think it's going to change us. Well, I already notice different things that, just appreciating things that you think you appreciate, but you do take for granted.
Toilet paper.
Yes. Food.
We know you're thinking it. Everyone's thinking it. It's the basics. But then even getting your favourite kind of pasta or, just little things.
Yes, we've been spoiled. We really have.
Yeah, but we will see what we can do now. I think there's going to be a push, and then you don't lose those things. So when you've upskilled on what we can achieve online and what we can do, they'll remain after. So hopefully, if nothing else, we'll have grown a little bit.
Well, aren't we lucky though that this is in this age where we have all this online tech for schools, for us as artists?
Yeah, for us particularly. I really don't know. I mean, it's such an isolated activity anyway, writing, where we all sit in our own rooms and tap away, and then occasionally would have come together. But and then now we all connect more online, but it feels like it would have been terrible what's happening now if we didn't have the online. Sorry, now I'm all worried. I'm thinking, imagine, but and not everyone has the access, the online access we have even at the moment. But I'm really hoping that the government does what they can to level the playing field there.
Yes, it's so important. I can't imagine to have had the disappointment of not having any of the promo and the physical promo and the book launch, etc., and sitting at home in my little office without having, the hands stretched out from the writing community, or being able to talk about it and share in that way. Even it would be really horrific.
And you've judged for the CYA before. I saw there because I loved the conference. Obviously, it got me an agent and a publisher. And they're going online. I think this year they're going to try and run as much as they can for the conference online. For the non-published authors who are still out there trying to get an access.
I would imagine that you could do it. I mean, it would take quite a bit of setting up, but yeah, I've heard a couple that are going online, and I think that's terrific. I would, and for some of you would pay for those sessions.
Oh yeah, and I think they're expecting that you will. Yeah, and Avid Bookstore have figured out how to do this, how to do a Zoom, and have paid access to author interviews. So there's still a chance for us to be having the events that we're used to in a slightly different way, but while supporting the bookshops.
Well, I'd never thought about having an online launch before, and still got to work out the details, but that's what I'm going to do. So, we can have a big physical party later, but just to say, here we are and here it is. And the fact that the book's going to be out there, it's still going to be published. It's still beautiful. More people are going to hear about it online than they would.
And you can still buy it. It's not like we can't still buy the books.
And aren't the bookshops doing a fabulous job with free postage or free delivery? And I think that that's probably something that, you know, we need to keep remembering to do, is to plug the bookshops and
Yeah.
the local bookshops particularly.
Yeah,
Even
there
with
are
some of the
some
big
that are
chains, you
struggling.
need to actually
Yep.
ring the individual stores so that
Yep.
they get it, not the big franchise.
Ah, yeah, yeah. There's one locally that's actually, they're riding on their bike if you're in the local postcode, and they'll go out on their bike to
Oh,
deliver
is
it.
that?
Feels a bit wartime, doesn't it?
It does a bit. It does a bit. I think we're going to learn to experience a few more of those things. Hopefully we won't end up with ration books, but maybe that's the only way we'll get toilet paper in the future.
Yeah.
Take our coupons.
Oh my goodness. And your research trip to France, what will happen?
I don't know, because it's all booked, paid for and
Obviously.
organised.
When was it for? The middle of the year?
Mid-August. So I'm hoping that everything will settle down. And at this stage, I'm just trying to think, play it by ear. And if it has to be rescheduled, it'll be rescheduled. But it's hard to imagine that it won't go ahead, because I could have done it last October, but I had other things going on. I thought, no, I wanted to get the manuscript into its second draft, because I thought there could be a lot of questions that emerge as I get to that. So I thought, no, be patient, wait. And now I sort of think,
Oh no. But yeah, hopefully August. You know, we don't know. I think we don't know about that far ahead yet, do we? Oh, that's really
But I do
hard.
have a couple of historians that I've connected with there, and maybe we'll be doing
Great.
Skype calls instead. But I really want to go and walk the ground, because it just made such a difference, with no small shame, of being in the place, even though the setting no longer existed, but I was still able to get the feel of so many things that
the smell and the way the air feels.
And the light is so different over in Europe than it is here. So
yeah, it really is. Well, I hope you'll get there. I'm sure you'll get there. I don't know how positive to be.
I will get there, whether it's as planned, perhaps not, but we'll see. Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's been so lovely to chat to you.
Thank you so much. It was so lovely to talk to you, and I just think this is just a fabulous opportunity, apart from anything else, just to get to know you and get to know different people on your
It's lovely
podcast.
to meet. Yeah, it's just lovely to meet everyone and realise all those little Twitter people, they're real faces. Yes. It's lovely.
It is.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much indeed, Anna. That's been wonderful. See ya.
Thank you.
The number you have dialed has been changed.